Hello and welcome. You're listening to Start Again with Shaunna Lee, sponsored by Soulway Massage. This is the place where you'll be reminded that it's never too late and you're never too old to do the damn thing. So stick around if you're ready to vibe higher and be inspired to chase your dreams. Together, we will uncover your soul's truest desires. Now, if you're ready, let's get started. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another Simply Shaunna episode. Today, you've got me, myself, and I to share some thoughts with you. So as I am diving into Love Month, and we're talking about all sorts of ways that we can attract love into our life, one of the first things we think about is attracting a person. And as you may or may not know, I have a dating course called Dating Divas. And here's the thing. The reason I kind of leaned into that title is because my philosophy on dating, especially when we're talking about dating midlife, listen, y'all, it's complicated and it can be messy and filled with potholes in the road, and it's a roller coaster, right? So one of the things that I like to teach in that course from the very beginning is the sense of worthiness to want to fall in love. The number one thing standing in your way of attracting the person you want is you. And it's not that we are doing things wrong or that there's a certain way to look. It's that the way we are, it's the story we're telling ourselves about the dating experience that could use some work. So that's a lot of what I dive into in that course. But what I wanted to talk to you about today is kind of the first step to how do I feel worthy of meeting this person? So yeah, we can change the story and we can do all the work that we do in that course to kind of ready your heart and to do the tactical steps to get ready. You know, there's some healing to do from past relationships. There's some crafting a new story that allows you to, attract the person you're wanting to attract with intention. So that's a lot of what we do in that course. But what I wanted to talk to you about today is kind of what is that one step that you can take today as you're listening to this episode. The takeaway I want for you to have is this idea that for true self-love is to feel worthy of what you want. So to honor your desires is what we're talking about today, because there's all sorts of little tiny baby steps that we can take to honor our desires. But there are also, and what we talk a lot about on this podcast is all the big ways that we can honor what we want, right? And we can kind of lean into and chase those dreams. Like that's all the fun stuff we talk about when people have started businesses. And, next season, we're going to talk to authors and learn about the books they've read and kind of the process that each and every one of these authors took to fight imposter syndrome and to lean into that desire. And so what I wanted to talk to you about today is kind of some of those easy ways that you can honor your desires. And really the first step is just to allow yourself to want what you want. And when it comes to dating specifically, that is to allow yourself to want a partner. And there's all sorts of stories that we tell ourselves about how likely it is or whatever the case may be. But if you want to attract a person into your life, but you are also saying you don't think it's very likely, then the universe is not going to just hand you what you are saying you don't want or don't believe you can have. But I wanted to kind of talk through some small ways that you can honor your desires, because I think this sort of focus and attention takes practice. As with anything, I'm a huge fan of doing things with intention. But when you sit down and honor your desires, I'm going to give you one little tiny step. So how many times has someone said, "What would you like to eat?" And you say, "I don't really know. I can find something to eat anywhere. You choose, and that will be great." Instead of actually sitting with, what do I want to eat today? What sounds good to me? What sounds delicious? What would be a beautiful food in front of me? What environment do I want to sit in when I'm eating this delicious meal? Do I want it to be delicious? Do I want it to be quick and easy? Do I need it to just fuel my body, or do I want to savor the food? And when you honor your desires, the first step is, what the fuck do you want? And being able to answer that and know what the answer is. So, what would you like to eat today? Is the first question that I would like you to ask yourself and answer for your next meal. What would you like to eat? Not what's going to make everybody happy. Listen, I feed a whole family on the daily. And most of the time, I am trying to cater to what my kids will eat, what my boyfriend might like, what my older daughter, is she going to be here? She doesn't like seafood. So that's usually what we reserve for the nights she's not here. So there's a lot of moving parts for me. And I'll tell you, very rarely do I stop and say, Shaunna, what do you want for dinner tonight? And so that's my challenge for you. That's your little tiny strategy to lean into what your desires are. And that is to start asking yourself what you want. And it can start with what you want to eat. But then you can start kind of venturing out. What do I need today? What does my soul call me to do? Do I need rest? Do I need to just give myself permission to take a 10-minute cat nap? Do I need to turn off my brain and veg out and watch a TV show? Do I want to take a brief little escape from reality and savor a book for 20 minutes? What does my soul need? And so I don't know about you guys, but for me, busy working mom, I have lots of demands on my time and attention. And oftentimes when I am irritable or frustrated, it's because I'm not honoring my desires. It's because I'm not paying attention to what is important to me, instead of, devoting my time and attention to everyone else around me. So sometimes honoring our desires can simply be that we're going to allow ourselves a little breather, a little mom timeout, as you've heard me talk about. So that's what I would like to encourage you to do, because as you practice asking yourself what you need, asking yourself what you want, then you can start venturing out to say, oh gosh, I actually am desiring a little more fun. How can I play today? How can I incorporate something for me just because I enjoy it? And for some people, that's, your daily exercise is that time you're devoting to yourself because you truly love it. Also, we all know that moving our bodies is a great way to move out stagnant negative energy. So that's a real good way to get through frustration or process anger and really allow those feelings and emotions to have a method to leave. And then, sometimes exercise is a form of meditation for a lot of folks as well. Have you meditated? We talked about that last week and how that's one of my really crucial and critical ways for me to tap into my soul's desires. And I'll tell you, just because I am an open book and I like to share, today's takeaway for me from meditation was that I deeply desire to create. And for me, a lot of what I am, when I lean into what my desires are, it's really, how do I want to feel? How do I want to be? And what am I wanting to experience? So yeah, I could, write my book, or I could work on this sewing project I need to work on. I could do all of these different things that will allow me to create. But really what I'm wanting to do is to create something new from scratch. And the best way for me to be able to get into that creative flow, which allows me, this is how I play, is I create. And so watching my daughter this past weekend create her art out of chalk on the asphalt was kind of me witnessing her in this creative flow. And the moments that she was in flow, she was just focused and it was effortless and it was easy. And the times that she was not aligned with that creative flow, that's when she had the temper tantrums. And that's when she had what we would call writer's block. If you were writing a book, where she had these moments of being frozen in over analysis and that's when I could say, okay, let's take a break. Let's get a snack, and do the things that I know will get her back into creative flow. And so that's what I know I need to do on those days when my soul is calling me to create. And it usually is a new offer for you guys. And it's because anytime I get to share something new and create a new offer, it allows me to make something pretty as a way to share my knowledge. And that's exactly what I have done. The best way to attract love is to love yourself. For many of us, we are only just beginning to learn what it truly means to care for ourselves, and that can begin with your body. A happy body leads to a happy mind and a happy spirit. This is what self-care is built upon. Now, if you are local, you must visit Soulmate Massage in Round Rock, Texas. Jen will help you to shift, release, and transform your emotional and physical blocks. Jen's ability to read a body and respond is nothing short of magical. She uses a custom approach for every client that includes various healing massage modalities like Thai yoga massage and lymphatic drainage therapy. Book your first body session at Soulmate Massage with code LOVE. The links are in the show notes. Now, let's get back to the show. So I have created this little freebie for you guys. One of the really crucial steps to take before you say, okay, yeah, let me sign up for Dating Divas. It sounds amazing. You're going to teach me all these new strategies on how to attract my soulmate. And I don't even know if I believe in soulmates, but yes, sign me up for that. Before you do, are you ready to date? Have you done the work? Do you know that you're bringing your best self to that dating experience as you meet new people? And so my freebie is a checklist. So you can go to my website, SimplyShaunna.com. Under free stuff at the menu at the top, you will find this freebie. And it's a checklist that walks you through, are you ready to date again? And if the answer is yes, then the dating course is for you. But this course is so fun. And I loved that I got to teach it live. And listen, this is one of the things that I've learned in this entrepreneur journey. And we talked about this a little bit on a previous episode when we were talking about monetizing your gifts and the idea of creating once and selling many times. That's exactly what I got to do with this particular course. Is I created it once live, and all those videos live in the Facebook group as well as on my site in the online course itself. But it walks you through these live videos each week. It's an 8-week program designed to get you ready to date again, and also how to do that with intention. How do you attract the partner that you're truly desiring? How do you do the healing and do the work to show up as that partner that that person deserves? And I give you some practice and some journaling tips along the way to kind of break through some of those barriers to do that work. And we do it together, and it's super fun. And I just love all of the love stories that come out of that course. Because listen, that's why we're talking about love this month, because, I self-proclaimed October to be love month, because why the hell not? I think honestly, when we get into a frequency that allows us to attract more love into our life, that's when we show up as our best selves. And I don't really care if you're trying to attract your soulmate, or you're trying to show up as the best mom possible, or you are trying to create a business from a place of inspiration and fulfillment. Regardless of what you're wanting to do, the more that you can get yourself in that love frequency, it allows you to be in creative flow more easily. It allows you to attract more of the good stuff into your life that you're wanting, whether that is money or love or people or relationships. Getting yourself into that frequency on a regular basis allows you to get more of it. And it's not about getting more. It's about creating the experience, the reality that you want, right? And so that's why I was talking to you today about honoring your desires, because what is the reality that you want? What do you desire to have tomorrow that you don't have today? That's the question to answer. And I'll tell you, when you take pause and ask yourself that question, and the very first thought you have comes very quickly, a little bit quiet, and you think, oh gosh, that can't be right. That is the one to pay attention to. It's the one that you think is silly, maybe not so important, definitely one you don't have time for. That is the desire to sit with. And I'm not saying like, okay, let's say your first thought was, I want to go skydiving. This is never mine, by the way. And then you're like, well, that's ridiculous. I don't have the time to do that, or I'm too scared to do that, or whatever the thing is that was your very next thought. I'm going to come back to, you are not given your desires for no reason. That is your soul calling you to attract new experiences, to attract new people, because of how it's going to make you feel. And a lot of times it's because of the work we have to do to get ourselves to the place where we can attract that, because that is bringing our best self to the world. So my thoughts today are all around honoring your desires. And what are those? And even if you think, okay, that's ridiculous, I'm never going to actually skydive, just sit with the desire. Journal about why you don't want to, journal about why you want to, journal about where the hell the thought maybe came from. And also another really fun thing I like to do in meditation specifically is to visualize yourself doing that thing while you're meditating. It takes 5 or 10 minutes, and all you're doing is visualizing yourself in that experience. And a lot of times that's all we need to realize why we want the thing, and to realize that, oh wait, yes, maybe this is something I want to do. And then you can go and take the action and do the thing. But for today, I want you to just sit with, what do you want? Why do you want it? And allow yourself permission to have it. And really just allow yourself to want it, because I think that's the first step. So if your thing is you really desire a partner to share your life with, because listen, looking at a beautiful sunset is better when someone's sitting next to you. Personally, that's how I feel. I've enjoyed many sunsets by myself, and I've enjoyed many with my person, and I've enjoyed many with random people. I generally think life is better with people around, but I also see a lot of people chasing a relationship or taking all the actions they think is necessary to find the person. And most of what I see them doing is a lot of busy work, a lot of action, a lot of force and effort. When the way I teach it is a little different. It's all about easing into what feels fun. It is about focusing inward and attracting, not chasing. And that's what I teach in that course. So the reason I keep talking about it is at the end of the month, it will open up. The wait list will open up pretty soon here. But in the meantime, in case you are kind of curious about the course and think maybe that'll be something that you'll be ready for one day, pop over to SimplyShaunna under free stuff and find that freebie on, am I really ready to date again? And download that checklist, and it'll get you started to find out whether or not you are, in fact, ready to take that course, to take the leap, to actually start with intention attracting your person. And one of the things that I want to make sure that we're focused on for this love month is all the different ways that we can attract love of all kinds into our life. So it's not always about attracting a romantic partner. Sometimes it's just, I want to embrace the idea of a more loving experience with my kids. I want to attract friendly conversations while I'm at work. I want to attract a smooth transition when my ex is dropping off the kids. There's all sorts of ways that we can allow love into our lives, and it's not always just about romantic love. And sometimes it's about self-love and loving yourself enough to allow yourself to want what you want. So honor your desires. That's the takeaway for today's episode. And it is all the small ways and all the big ways that we can allow ourselves to want what we want that gets you one step closer to attracting more love into your life. And that's what we're talking about this month, all through October, to talk about Love Month. So be sure to check out all those other episodes, and I will definitely be back at the end of this week with another interview for you centered around love again. I am thoroughly enjoying these conversations that I'm having with these women this season. And we've got a full roster through the end of the year, all around women-owned businesses of all kinds, all the different ways that these women have shown up and honored their desires, most of them in a way to give back, which I love. Because most of these women that I'm talking to, they have a deep desire to help people, and they're allowing themselves to chase their dreams, and they do it in amazingly different, unique ways. And I have had so much fun having these conversations and then sharing them with you guys. I'm excited about the rest of the year. And then just kind of a sneak peek and a heads up, when we move into season 3 next year, I already have line of sight, and I've recorded a few of those conversations, but we are going to talk to authors next year. So next season is all about writing books and meeting the people who have done that. So that will be a really fun way to start off the year, especially because, right around the first of the year, everyone's thinking about what am I going to accomplish this year? So that'll be a great way for us to kick off the year, is talking to people who wanted to write a book and who actually did it. Because here's what I will tell you, one more thing. I heard it said one time, what is the difference between someone who wants to write a book and an author? And the answer is the author is the one who did it. And that is the only difference. So if your soul is calling you to write a book, because I do truly believe everybody has a story to tell, you'll definitely want to be tuning in for next season as we talk to all those different authors of all those different genres of books that they have honored their desires and written. So for today, before we get there, I just want you to again ask yourself, what do you want? What do you need? And give yourself permission to honor your desires. Until next time, my friends, we will talk soon. Did you like this episode, or did you love it? Inquiring minds want to know. The best way to support this show is to subscribe and leave a review. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.